Hey, so basically after I posted my video the other day, my day one of the challenge, which was me opening up, having just had the flashback about being sexually abused, I had a response from a girl called Victoria, and she recorded a video for me. And so really this video is for you, Victoria, because you asked me a couple of questions, and yeah, just to connect with you. Firstly, like, seriously, thank you so much for recording your video. You know, you've been through a lot, and I could really feel that, and I could also feel like that kind of comfort in being like, oh my god, somebody gets me, somebody understands. So yeah, I understand. And seriously, honey, you're 21, I'm 30. It's like you've got so long to figure it all out, and that's really exciting and really awesome, I think. Yeah, like there were three things that I picked up mostly that you were interested in knowing from me. So you're asking me like what my experience of a flashback was. You asked me what it was like being suicidal. And then also, I just saw a butterfly. And then also asking about what my relationship was like with my dad generally, given that he was in my life quite a lot. So, first of all, what the experience of a flashback was for me was like a snapshot, and it's like I can see the room, like you described, and I can see where I am, where my dad is, and I'm like up in the corner of the room looking down at it, and I don't feel like I wasn't in my body at the time, so it's almost like my consciousness went out of body to watch it happening. And when I had the flashback, I was kind of like reconnecting with that fragment of consciousness that was observing it. So it was like how it came to me is I was literally just making a smoothie, and I had this sinking feeling all morning, like a really heavy feeling, like, oh god, something's really wrong, I know it is, and this sense of my dad being involved. And then it's like, bam, I got the image, it just like flashed into my mind, and I just knew, like I could feel like a knowing, that is what had happened, like accompanied by the vision to kind of like illustrate it. So, and then I did that thing that you've talked about, which is, oh, you know, maybe this isn't real, maybe I'm wrong, I can't really say this, what if it didn't really happen? And I've had that so many times in my life where I haven't trusted myself, and it's something I've been working on for years, and I was just like, fuck that, to be honest. I know. And I know that I know. And so I'm very connected with what I call my spirit guides, which are like these kind of like, almost like guardian angels, I guess. And like, because I'm very psychic, I kind of chat to them for guidance on my life. And I was like, is this real? Did this actually happen? And it was just like, yes, trust yourself, yes. So I was like, okay, it did. And I know it anyway, you know, I just needed that kind of like extra validation. And it's hard to trust ourselves because, you know, part of us doesn't want to believe it. But also the whole thing just embodies guilt and doubt. You doubt yourself all the time, and so of course it's natural to doubt whether it actually happened. But you know, I think the message in that is for us to trust ourselves, because we know if it did. So that's the first thing. So secondly, what it was like being suicidal. I just had so little love for myself and so little care, and I was in so much pain that I just didn't care. That's probably the best way to describe it. It wasn't this big dramatic thing of, oh my god, I'm gonna kill myself. It was more like, I really don't care. This is so painful, I don't care if I live or die, so what's the point in living? I might as well finish it. But it was always at a time where I was very despairing, where I was going through so much pain in my life that I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to reach out to people. And it just seemed the easy option, the easy way out. So that's what that was like. And then finally, you know, my relationship with my dad. I'm actually going to go into this in more detail in another video when I talk about the profile of what a sexual abuser is like. So, but just to give you an overview, he was I actually feel quite a lot of forgiveness and compassion for him, partly because our relationship was so dysfunctional that I've spent many years working through a lot of it, and I've had to forgive him for a lot of things. So I've reached a place of peace within myself. And so with this coming up, it's almost like I've already had these feelings and I've made peace with them. So it's not completely new to me. How our relationship was is that we were how I remembered it is that he was like my best friend when I was very young. We were very, very close, did a lot of stuff together. I remember him being really fun, really playful, just like a mate. And it was never like he was like my dad. It's like he was a friend. Well, that's like one aspect of it. Another aspect is that he was massively, massively controlling. I was kind of like an extension of him emotionally. So I never really got to develop my own sense of self. I was my dad and he pulled the strings to get what he needed from me when he needed it. And he was a very fearful man and he needed love and he didn't think he was enough without love. So he would orchestrate situations and treat me in a way where he manipulated me into feeling guilty, I guess, so that he felt loved. You know, like having a tantrum or something. So I'm like, oh God, Dad, are you okay? Like, gotta look after Dad. Is Dad all right? So that he felt needed, basically. He was very involved in my life. He wanted to know everything. And then towards the end of his life, it was just a massive, massive car crash. He was an alcoholic. He became very abusive towards me, overtly. It became a really difficult time cutting off the ties with him because he was so attached to me. And then I ended up suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. And then I became estranged from him. I had to cut him out of my life because he was too toxic and too damaging, and he'd lost the plot. He kind of like mentally wasn't my dad anymore as I knew him. And then I knew that the only way I'd get back in touch with him once I'd made that decision to cut him out of my life is if he was dying. And then about a year later I found out he had cancer. And so I got back in touch with him and just acted like everything was fine. And then it was another 3 months before he passed away. So it was all very, very traumatic, very up and down, very rocky. Some of the things that he did were just mental when I look back. Some of the situations where he would try and it was basically just manipulation constantly, and it's like, God, no wonder I've spent my life feeling guilty. No wonder that's my default emotion, you know. It was like having a child from when I was a baby. That's basically what it was like. So I hope that answers some stuff for you. It was basically just really messed up. I haven't made like a really long video. I haven't gone into that much detail just because I don't know, I'm filming so much at the moment anyway that I don't want to kind of overdo it, and there'll be other stuff that will hopefully be relevant for you anyway. But oh my God, seriously, just thank you for recording your video. And I know you said that you don't feel ready yet to have it like put out publicly through my channel and stuff. I think people can probably see it through my comments. But, you know, if you do feel ready and you can take that leap of faith, then you know that I'm completely by your side with that, and you know it's what I'm doing as well. And the other thing I was just going to say is that I just felt, you know, when you were saying you don't want to be accusing people of stuff if you don't know that it's completely true and that kind of thing. And the only thing, like, at the core of this that I've like had to hammer into myself over the years is trust yourself. Like, really, really trust yourself, because you know when you know. So thank you, and I love you lots, and I look forward to, I don't know whether you record another video or we just stay in touch through comments and stuff, but yeah, have a lovely day.